it is, which is a discussion or a performance or whatever.
But it's hard to force yourself to, like, you said, like, okay, like I now have all this time for all these things I've always kind of wanted to do, or think about all that I've just been pushing away. And then, it's not happening, right? Because like I said, like, let's just, let's just like, we don't know our frame of reference anymore. So we used to have this frame of reference. Used to have this idea of freedom. So like, freedom to think, like, what Tim was saying, like even in isolation, like the freedom to think, like my thoughts were still free, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, like, now we technically should have this freedom, yet we're like in this sort of disorienting time of a shifting frame of reference that we cannot, like, so there's all this like information or non-information around us, and we just cannot find our bearing. So we don't have our sea legs or like corona legs or whatever. So we're not finding in which frame of reference to think, like what is our freedom, like what is, like, where does our mind like find its footing and get back on track. Yeah,
I feel the same thing could be said for like idea of the future, and that's what I was getting into, like the the future is like, because like we don't have this like frame of reference anymore, or rather the frame of reference, like we've been like basically like being like for like in like dripped to the IV is like is like just like breaks your suspension of disbelief. So basically like this is my concept. This is getting into my concept as well. We kind of lost the idea of the future, not in the progress sense of like the progression of time, which of course always moves forward, but the idea of like human progress seems to like have been like I guess not there anymore. I think I would feel.
Maybe that's because you've been so accepting the concept of progress as being a capitalist progress,
I
or
mean,
a digital progress. I mean, I'm not saying you believe or you subscribe that, but because you grew up in a world where this was just the measuring, the competition is just so ingrained that if
I grew up with nothing else to like go by. No, I see the same problem with like the moment the young left, which only have like the past to like to as a frame of reference. I mean, like all we have like at this moment is what Chapel Trap House. And
well,
like
I think
what's Chapel Trap House? Sorry,
like it's a podcast.
Okay.
So
okay, then it's a left podcast.
I want to get in this idea of progress real quick. Because I think and this is like I think this is where like I feel like the end of like our frame of reference is ending now. Is that we've had this sort of like narrative, like system construction, this sort of like white male like system of power, which was always saved by technological progress, right? So even when you felt you could topple it, you had it at the precipice, then there was some sort of technological progress which moved society forward, and everybody said, okay, we'll keep going the way we were going because it's still moving forward. And I feel like and I say this as someone who's obviously trained in science and technology, I've gotten to the point where I feel like this is not going to save the future. There's not going to be like a Deus ex machina, which is going to move like society forward. So this is where I think I'm completely regular. We have to think about how, like all aspects of society, like everybody can chip into this new construction, in the new vision, in like as just as possible, as equal as possible. And so there's no like, and we all thought the internet, communication, like if everybody just talked to each other, it would be our technological god. This is utopia. We all talk to each other, we all find our common ground, and everything moves forward.